Sometimes the ORS tools plugin for QGIS gives you problems, and it actually crashes, or under Linux it just disappears when you ask them to do certain operations. The plugin is a little bit old. It's over a year old and is maintained by an open source community, so it doesn't get updated regularly. However, it is possible to use Open Route Service, their website, to get the same information and then upload it into QGIS. So let me show you how this is done. The first thing you want to do is you want to go and search for the sign-in page, openrouteservice.org/sign-in. That will take you to this page right here, where you can sign in. I'm going to sign in with my username and password. It will take you to this page, and I'm going to go to Maps, and from this window you can actually do everything that you are able to do with the plugin inside QGIS. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go, let's zoom out, and maybe let's go to Athens, and we're gonna look for some addresses in Athens right here. Okay, so there's Athens right there. So in order to look for directions and look for a route, I'm gonna click here. This is for directions, and this panel on the left opens. I'm gonna put in my starting place, my destination, and notice that I can click here, bike, road bike, e-bike, mountain bike, or walking, foot walking, or if it's a vehicle, or it's a car, or a bus or a car, or even some places have accessible information for wheelchairs. So let's start with something simple, maybe here from Schoonover Center, from 28th Union Street, Athens, Ohio. And when I click enter, it will show me some options here. Okay, and Athens, Ohio, USA, and the destination, let's say it's going to be the library, the public library here in Athens, which is at 30 Home Street, Athens, Ohio, USA. Okay, so once you do that, then it will actually, there you go, 30 Home, and there you go. So it plots you like in QGIS. It will plot the source or the origin and the destination. It will give you a summary here with the options and the route options, and you can change it as well. Right now we're gonna get the default result. Notice that it's a distance of 2.2k, and we said that we're biking in this case, so it's going to take about 8 minutes and 8 seconds to get there. So once you're here, you can actually download the route. So I'm going to download the route summary here. I'm going to download the route, and I can download it in multiple formats. The one that I'm going to use, and QGIS supports a few of these formats. A popular one is GeoJSON, which is a JavaScript object notation file with some geographical information in it. It's a human readable. I'm gonna pick this format, and let's say this is the ORS route from Schoonover to the library for bike. Let's download that. I'm gonna save that in my downloads folder, and let's close this. And now we can do other options as well. So remember that with ORS tools, we can do, with the plugin, we can also do the isochrones, the distance that you can walk or drive around a specific point. So I'm going to clear the map. I'm going to switch this to, instead of find and go, I'm going to go to reach. And let's do the same, and let's do 20 East Union Street, Athens, Ohio, USA. And we're gonna compute some, so that's our address, and there you go. That's our isochrone area that's for distance. So let's go and change this for time. So if we walk we're doing right now biking, let's change it to walking, foot walking, for instance. There you go. So that's our foot walking distance, a 5-minute foot walking distance, and you can change other options here, how for your intervals, and to change your map. So right now that's 3 and 5. So that's those are our isochrones. So let's import this, or let's download these isochrone layers also for importing them into QGIS. Notice that we have a 5 and a 3. So let's download this. Let's change this to ORS isochrone, or isochrone dash. This is for Schoonover Center. This is for foot. We call it foot or walking dash 3 and 5, let's say. Okay. Let's also pick the same format. We're going to use GeoJSON, and we're going to download that. Let's save that here. Okay, that's it. So we have our 2 files, and we can just go to QGIS. So let's start QGIS and import them into QGIS as vector layers. So let's see how that works. So let's add our OpenStreetMap base layer there. Let's go to Athens. So I type OSM, Athens, Ohio, USA. It should pop up. So we can double click here. That's Athens. Let's zoom in a little bit there. And let's add our layers. So let's start with the path that we put in there. So we're going to add a layer. We're going to add a vector layer. Here we're going to click. We're adding a file, so that's fine. And we're going to pick our data set. And we have to look for, we said that let's go over to library using a bike. That's our first layer. So let's double click there and say open. It's going to show us some options here when we say add. Notice that it's going to add two features, a point feature for the points for the source and destination, and also a line that joins the source and the destination. And you can add them as a group as well. Let's just say add both of them. Let's click OK. Let's close. And it's there. It's hard to see. It's right there. It's right there, the route. But let's change the route. Let's change the properties of that so that it's clearly visible. Let's go like this. So now it's a lot easier to see, unless we can change the origin and source points as well. And let's put something like that. That's easier to see. And there you have it. Then we have the route. There was a biking route. The biking route between Schoonover and the library. And we also need to add or to look at what information has been stored in our attribute table. So we're gonna go here and say I'm looking at the route, at the line if you want, and I'm gonna open the attribute table. And notice that I have the actual information that I had before. There's a summary with some information here, the distance and the duration. So this is in seconds. So remember, it was about 8 minutes or 480 seconds. It was 8 minutes and 8 seconds. So that's the duration of the path, the biking path in seconds. And that's the distance as well. So that's how we add the route. We use the exact same procedure to add our isochrones. So let's say here layer. We're going to click again, add vector layer, and we're going to add a different one. We're going to add our isochrone layers here. I'll say open. I'll say add. And it's going to give us, there's two, notice that is 1 point and 2 polygons that we're going to import. Yes, we want those. Let's say okay. And there you go. Let's close this. Let's change that. Notice that we have our our polygons right here. So what we're gonna do here is one of them and the point. So let's go here and change the properties to make it a little bit transparent there. Okay, and then we have the 3 and 5 minute polygon for walking from Schoonover Center. Okay, so that's it. So instead of using the ORS plugin, you can just use the ORS or the Open Route Service website and get the same results. It takes a little bit longer, but there's no need to deal with the plugin crashing.